of course, the thing that I want to start with is speakers. And let's just go down the currently published list, because as both Liz and I know, there's some secret speakers that aren't finalized yet. But what's public? What's the information we can share with the listeners today?
Well, the last time we talked, Phil, we had a number of really exciting speakers that were well-known names within the secular community. We had Richard Dawkins, we had James Randi, we had Cara Santamaria, we were working with Paul Provenza from the previous Reason Rally, the Psy Babe, and Eugenie Scott as some of our first early-in speakers that we had confirmed.
Right.
Well, now we've been continuing to work to round out our stage. And that list is still nowhere near finalized. We are still adding and announcing speakers all of the time, but we've made one of our biggest announcements this week. So if you'll bear with me, let's do a little bit of a build-up to it.
Oh, yes. So we're going to, save kind of the best couple for last and tell us who else is new.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to start with two of my absolute favorite people that we've been able to bring onto the Reason Rally stage this summer. The first is an astrophysicist. Her name is Carolyn Porco, and she is the leader of the imaging team for NASA's Cassini project. She is responsible for some of these fantastic images you see coming out of outer space. And if you remember about a year or so ago, when there was a big meme running around where we all had to turn and look at the sky and smile because we were having our picture taken through the rings of Saturn.
Yes.
That image was a part of her team and her work.
Oh, very cool. I love those pictures and I love those projects. And Liz, I don't know if you knew this, but my original degree in college was going to be astronomy. So I'm a huge astronomy fan from way back.
I am as well. It's one of my favorite things to look at and say, oh, if I had another lifetime, I could do that. But while we're talking about space, let me go to one of my next favorite speakers. This one hails from the casting list of Star Trek. We are bringing John Delancey, who's better known as Q from Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager, to speak at the Reason Rally.
I saw that, and oh boy, this is amazing, and we haven't got to the bombs yet, the really big names. So everybody keep listening. But yes, Q is going to be on stage. And
who better to speak to a bunch of atheists than Q himself?
That's right.
But
and maybe he can judge us.
We've been reaching out to some well-known activists who have made a long-time career out of being public figures speaking up for the rights of minority groups. We are bringing Margaret Cho, the comedian, to speak at the Reason Rally and to do one of her stand-up sets for us.
Awesome.
We are also really excited to we've been approached by, actually, independently, the bassist from the band The Spin Doctors. His name is Mark White, and he has been heavily involved in the African-American community and Black Lives Matter and some of the other African-American cultural programs that have been happening in the last couple of years. He came to us and is just on fire to be able to talk about his atheism and become more public about that.
So that's Mark White from the Spin Doctors. Is he going to play music too, or is he just going to talk?
It's up to him.
Oh, man. All right. Who else we got?
All right. Well, so now we're getting into some of the really heavy hitters. So I have a name here that you might have heard of. It's 2 syllables.
Go on.
Bill
Cosby?
Nye, the science guy.
Bill Nye, the science guy.
He will be speaking at the Reason Rally. We just confirmed this a couple of days ago, and we're really excited to have him as part of our lineup.
That is amazing. And the other one that I've known that we're going to get to soon is I've known for weeks, because I'm not on the program committee. I'm just the treasurer. But I knew this name, and I've been dying to tell everybody. You got any more names before we get to the really, really, really well-known person? I'm
going to go to it right now. Are you ready for this?
Talk to me.
We are very excited to have Captain Jack Sparrow himself, Johnny Depp, speaking at the Reason Rally this summer.
Wow, that is amazing.
June 4th, 2016, at the Lincoln Memorial.
Now, for the listeners, because you and I know, so let's just pretend like I don't know for a second. Is it just one day, Liz, or are there other things going on?
Well, the rally itself is one day. The programming starts at 10 a.m. and we run until about 7 p.m. in the evening. But we also have events starting as early as Thursday morning and going all the way until Sunday evening. if you want to make your rally a 4-day experience, we have that available for you.
Now, this Reason Rally, Saturday, June 4th, I'm thinking it would be worth maybe $500, but no, it's not $500. It's not $300. How much is it, Liz?
You show up at the Lincoln Memorial and you are at the Reason Rally. It is absolutely free and open to the public. Absolutely
amazing. Now, of course, right after the Reason Rally, there are going to be some parties.
As it turns out, we anticipate that maybe people will be excited and will want to go and hang out and have some parties afterward. So we actually have not one, not two, but 3 parties going on Saturday evening after the Reason Rally. So we have, first of all, we'll have a VIP cocktail reception where we will have some of our speakers, our board members, myself, and anybody who wants to join us for an open bar cocktail reception. And this event is absolutely a steal. Tickets are only $75 each, and you can come rub elbows with some of the VIPs from the Reason Rally.
Did you say open bar?
Open bar.
Oh, man, now I'm feeling really bad that I'm not going to be able to be there.
I'll buy your drink, Phil.
That's very sweet. And for the listeners, I'm going to be in D.C., but I'm not going to be at the VIP cocktail reception because this is okay for me to announce, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay. It just went up on the website that you can get tickets. Now, you have to get a ticket for this, right?
That's correct.
At 2 different locations, and is it $25 for both locations?
The idea is generally that you'll probably want to stay at one or the other, but the price is the same for each of them.
There are going to be these 2 after parties. I mean, we've got the VIP reception, and we've got after parties that go to 1 a.m., and I will be the DJ for one of these events. So, of course, my listeners, I want you to come and check it out. Come party with me in D.C.
I can't think of a better place I would rather be than hanging out with you in D.C. along with 50,000 of my great secular friends.
Well, and the thing that is most amazing for me, my regular listeners may know that I've done a few parties, and it's not something it's a lot of work. I'll just say it that way. I did Skepticon a couple years ago to almost 900 people, but now one of these parties is going to have over 1,000 people, at least it could.
That's correct.
And I'm thinking, with maybe 50,000 people in attendance, you probably should get your tickets to this sooner than later, because once it's sold out, it's done?
Once it's sold out, it's done. We do have a will call, but I mean, we're looking at an event that we're looking at having over 1,000 people at. So that will call list, we're looking at maybe the first dozen or 2 people might be able to get tickets after it sells out. So go head over to reasonrally.org. Registration for all of our events is live, as well as a couple of special opportunities for VIP seating at the rally itself. And we have a handful of backstage passes available still. They are going very fast.
And those aren't cheap, but you get to go backstage.
You get to go backstage, and you get to shake the hands of the speakers we have at the Reason Rally.
Oh, this is amazing, Liz. Anything else that is public that we can talk about now?
Well, one of the other things that's happened since you and I talked last is that we've actually launched our store on reasonrally.org. So if you want to have your Reason Rally t-shirt ahead of time so that you can be wearing your fantastic blue and white shirt at the rally, those are available now. We have a whole lot of options available. We have women's shirts, men's shirts. We've got tank tops, we've got hoodies, we've got hats. We even have baby onesies. So if you are named Hemant Mehta and you have a small baby that you'd like to dress up in Reason Rally gear, we have you set up.
Oh, that is I even see a bib. That's hysterical. Tank tops, shirts, polos, a hat, fleece pullover. So go check it out. Liz, thank you so much for dropping in and giving me and the listeners a first crack at the important and fun things that are going to happen at the Reason Rally, and I can't wait to see you at the Reason Rally.
I will see you there.
Hey, thanks, Liz.
You bet.
Bye.
Here's an excerpt from Fear of Physics by Lawrence Krauss.
A physicist, an engineer, and a psychologist are called in as consultants to a dairy farm whose production has been below par. Each is given time to inspect the details of the operation before making a report. The first to be called is the engineer, who states,
"The size of the stalls for the cattle should be decreased. Efficiency could be improved if the cows were more closely packed, with a net allotment of 275 cubic feet per cow. Also, the diameter of the milking tubes should be increased by 4% to allow for a greater average flow rate during the milking periods.
The next report is a psychologist who proposes the inside of the barn should be painted green. This is a more mellow color than brown and should help induce greater milk flow. Also, more trees should be planted in the fields to add diversity to the scenery for the cattle during grazing to reduce boredom. Finally, the physicist is called upon. He asks for a blackboard and then draws a circle. He begins.
Assume the cow is a sphere.
This old joke, if not very funny, does illustrate how, at least metaphorically, physicists picture the world. The set of tools physicists have to describe nature is limited. Most of the modern theories you read about began life as simple models by physicists who didn't know how else to start to solve a problem. These simple little models are usually based on simpler little models, and so on, because the class of things that we do know how to solve exactly can be counted on the fingers of one, maybe two hands. For the most part, physicists follow the same guidelines that have helped keep Hollywood movie producers rich. If it works, exploit it. If it still works, copy it. I like the cow joke because it provides an allegory for thinking simply about the world, and it allows me to jump right into an idea that doesn't get written about too much, but that is essential for the everyday workings of science. Before doing anything else, abstract out all irrelevant details. There are two operatives here, abstract and irrelevant. Getting rid of irrelevant details is the first step in building any model of the world, and we do it subconsciously from the moment we are born. Doing it consciously is another matter. Overcoming the natural desire not to throw out unnecessary information is probably the hardest and most important part of learning physics. In addition, what may be irrelevant in a given situation is not universal, but depends in most cases on what interests you. This leads us to the second operative word, abstraction. Of all the abstract thinking required in physics, probably the most challenging lies in choosing how to approach a problem. The mere description of movement along a straight line, the first major development in modern physics, required enough abstraction that it largely eluded some pretty impressive intellects until Galileo.
Fear of Physics by Lawrence Krauss. Find this audiobook and many more at atheistaudiobooks.com. The facts you won't hear in church. You're listening to The Bill Ferguson Show on Secular Media Network.
Oh, shit. Okay.
We are super boring.
This is great.
All your listeners are going to be like, I am fucking tuning out. I do like that you have swearing on your show, though. I will say that.
I can't live that without that.
Of the podcasts that have David Smalley's announcer, yours is my favorite because
Let's start recording now. Then,
yeah, I am.
If you're
I
going to say
already
shit
did.
like that.
I already did.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to shoot one across the bow,
Beautiful,
right?
beautiful voice on that guy. That guy's just a pro, you know?
Me or Smalley?
I'm talking about the guy who does your announcing.
It is that guy.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
He is
Yeah. And does he drop any F-bombs for you? Like in the...
I'm sure I could ask.
Oh, you should, man. You really should.
In a world where fucking is legal. It's good fun, and I think that's the guy. And Smalley said that he is a friend of the movement.
Oh, nice.
And so he made him a special deal. I think it was something about it's several $100s a read. There's some kind of union minimum that he has to charge.
Yeah.
But he told Smalley, he said, you can use a really small font if you want. So he reads an entire page, which is, dozens and dozens of announcements as a special deal.
As a special deal. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's real cool.
So we're recording now?
Yeah, we're on now.
Okay, well, it's funny. I drove the interstate up here. What the fuck did they call this? Just south of the Hubbard's Cave, the 9094 combination.
Yeah, the 9094 combination is the Dan Ryan.
The Dan Ryan.
Yeah.
I used to live and work up here.